Hello and welcome to another episode of the Stogie Review video review. And this week's cigar review is the Arganese Chairman Double Wrap. And this cigar was brought to us by Jesse from cigarjack.net. I received an email about a week and a half ago. Jesse had been sent a couple of boxes of Arganese cigars as samples, and he contacted us and asked if we would like to give one a shot. So I said absolutely. I got a couple of cigars, several actually, sent to me in the mail, and this is the first one of that bunch. My apologies to Jerry, I still haven't gotten those out in the mail. I'll have them out tomorrow. So again, sorry about that, Jerry. But I'm going to pull the information from the cigar directly from cigarjack.net. And if you guys haven't checked out Cigarjack's website, head on over and again, it's cigarjack.net. It's cigar reviews and news blog. And these are put out by Arganese Cigars. If you head over to arganese.com, you can check out their list of retailers for availability. These are the Double Wrap Chairman. These only come in one size as far as I can tell, and that is the Churchill, which is a 50x7. It has a twin wrapper, as you can see, a barber bowl effect, and that's a result of a Connecticut shade wrapper and a Brazilian Maduro. It has a Dominican binder, Dominican filler, and I had mentioned the wrapper. And the price runs about $180 for a box of 25. And thanks again, Jesse. I just plagiarized that entire list of information directly from your site. But I got the cigar cut, and I'm gonna get ready to get started. Cigar looks great. I mean, it's kind of strange to look at a cigar like this because the Connecticut shade looks a little dry. There's a real light sheen to it, but the Brazilian Maduro wrapper is really rich and has a much glossier sheen to it. There's more oil to it. It's a very interesting cigar to look at, and you know, there's a few veins that run throughout, but it's a very attractive cigar for the most part. It feels very firm. There's just a couple of soft spots in the cigar, but overall I think it feels pretty good. Pre-light draw is very smooth. It's a little sweet, nice and easy, so I'm going to get started. And I decided to pair this with a Yuengling Black and Tan tonight, which is a beer. It's a mixture of Yuengling's porter and premium beers. And the result is you know, a beverage that's sort of stout, but not really at the same time. It's an odd mix for an odd wrapped cigar. Well, got the cigar lit, making lots of smoke. I'm going to see if I can cool down this room a little bit. It's unbelievably hot, and I'll be back after just a quick break. Well, folks, welcome back. I'm still plugging along on my Arganese Chairman Double Wrap, and here we are ready to go over the first third. Now, this cigar is starting out just like the first one I smoked. It's a little finicky at first, and I think it has to do with the two different wrappers. They burn a little differently, so before the cigar gets warmed up and starts burning just like it should, it acts a little finicky. You might have to touch up one side more than the other, and just kind of puff on it a little more than you're used to, just to get things started. It's a little awkward, but once it gets going, I found that it really burns straight through, throughout. At least my first one did. So, I can only hope that this one will be the same way and won't cause me any trouble. as you can see, I'm not getting a whole lot of smoke from each puff, and I think that's just because the cigar is being a little finicky. And it looks like I've got a tiny bit of a tunnel developing, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm getting a little more air through the cigar than I should, but the burn is nice and even. It produces an ash that's a little loose. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to knock it off the cigar into the ashtray. Just a little tap will do it, but fortunately, you know, it doesn't drop even if you make big hand gestures, which is always a nice, you know, a nice thing. The body is about medium to start. The finish is strange. It's kind of it's almost like a wave of two different things going on at the same time. You know, you get a little bit of a dry kind of feel in your mouth, and then you get like a creamy kind of feel. And it's sort of what you would expect from these two different types of wrappers. You know, you're getting both experiences at once. It's totally separate, which is just like the first one, and the flavor is the same way. It's got like a cocoa flavor to it, but at the same time it's got a little bit of a spicy flavor to it and a woody flavor, which I think is more affected, or is more of a result because of the Connecticut Shade wrapper, and you know, you get that kind of cocoa flavor from the Brazilian Maduro. So right now it's completely split. It's like two different flavor profiles that come on at different times when you draw on the cigar. You know, once you pull in the smoke, you get one flavor, you expel the smoke, a couple seconds go by, and then you kind of get a rush of the other flavor. It's nice, but it's a little awkward at the same time. And the reason I think it's a little awkward is because I would expect a complete blending of the two flavors with each puff, because you know, you're getting both wrapper types, you know, with the puff. But you know, right now it's kind of a segregated flavor thing going on. I'm really hoping they kind of come together and you know, make one unique flavor profile. But for right now, it's kind of separate. It's a little, it's give or take. You know, I could do without the cigar at this point, but definitely need to wait and see what happens and what develops later on. And on that note, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in just a moment, and we'll get started on the second third. Well, welcome back, folks. I'm still plugging away at my Arganese Chairman double wrap, and I'm going to find my notes. I actually remembered this time to grab a little notepad and take pictures and jot down a little timeline. And at this point, it's 8:05. I started at 7:20. When I turned the camera off, it was around 7:35 or so. So, you know, been about a half an hour. I'm just getting into the second third of the cigar now. And there's a couple of really nice things that are going on. One, that the lack of smoke that I was getting initially, upon further inspection, it really wasn't a tunnel that I was getting. It was more of like an underfilled spot. It just kind of loose with tobacco. So, you know, it wasn't densely packed there, and I was getting, you know, more air than I was smoke. Now, you know, that seems to be burning through that, and I'm getting to, you know, the packed part of the cigar. Now I'm getting more smoke, and the whole flavor profile is really starting to come together. You know, the kind of woody, spicy flavor and the rich cocoa flavor are starting to come together, and they're, you know, it's starting to taste like a unique blended mixed flavor that is really enjoyable at this point. And it is just that. It's like a spicy, woody flavor with, you know, kind of coffee and cocoa flavors, and it's just really nice. And just like the first one, once the cigar got going, the burn line is nice. It's pretty even. It's really thin. It's crisp. It's putting off a fairly light resting smoke. It's burning slow. The aroma in the air is nice. I'm ventilating the room fairly well, but it still has a nice kind of mild aroma to it that I don't find offensive at all. Now, I don't typically find cigar smoke offensive, but you know, this is enjoyable. It's nice. You know, the body's about, you know, it's medium to full-ish. It's you know, not quite full, not quite medium, you know, middle of the road there. And the finish is much better now. It still kind of swings. You know, it's initially a little dry, and then it kind of, you get this kind of wave of rich, creamy flavor. That's it's just really nice. The cigar is really coming together well, and I'm really enjoying it at this point. And the draw is still free, and as I mentioned, it's producing more smoke now, so it's nice all around. And that about does it for the second third. As I mentioned, this is my my second Arganese Chairman. I have one more. Jesse was kind enough to send me 3, in addition to 6 other cigars. Jerry's going to be getting the last barber pole. I'd love to keep it for myself, but you know, I'm really looking forward to getting his opinion on the cigar. And this is also my first barber pole style cigar. I've got 2 more in my humidor, but they were sent to me from a member from Club Stogie. We did a Make-A-Wish Pay It Forward, and I happened to wish for, you know, twin wrap cigars, double wrap cigars, barber pole style. And he stopped by this cigar store in New York City, where they rolled their own cigars on site, and he picked me up 2 and sent them to me, and they've been sitting in the humidor now for months and months. It's probably been about a year, maybe a little bit more than that, since I received those cigars, so they should be, you know, aging very well. I'm looking forward to trying them, but if it's anything like this Arganese, I'm really going to enjoy it. So it's something else to look forward to. And if you get a chance, leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever had one of these types of cigars and what your experience is. They're, you know, it's nice to look at. It's it's odd. It's definitely an attention grabber. You know, you go sit down somewhere with this, and you know, it's going to draw someone's eye. So anyway, doing good. So that's about it for the second third. I'm going to do a little video editing, take a quick break, and be back for the final third. And maybe we'll wrap things up from there. Maybe not. Don't know yet. We'll see how I feel. So I'll see you in just a second. Well, welcome back, folks. It's about time to wrap up my Arganese Chairman double wrap. And excuse me. The cigar's gotten much better. It just progressively gets better and better as I smoke it. And I've been at this for a little while now, about an hour and a half. I still got probably at least another half an hour of cigar left. So I'm going to be plugging away at this even after I turn the camera off. But the base flavor is still pretty much the same. It's like a woody, spicy flavor, you know, interlaced with these rich cocoa flavors, and I'm really enjoying it. As I smoke, it seems to develop a little more character. It just becomes a little more unique and rich. It's just a really enjoyable cigar. I mean, it tastes as good as it looks. You have to, you have to deal with a little bit of a hiccup at first. You know, I couldn't get it to burn the way I'd liked. You know, I had a spot of, I hit like an underfilled part of the cigar, so I wasn't getting quite as much smoke as I would have liked. But all that settled out. You know, the burn was nice and straight. You know, I started getting a lot more smoke, and then the flavor just came alive. You know, the body progresses a little bit. It's still medium to full. You know, it's not over the top. It's nice. It goes very well with the flavor profile. You know, the finish is smooth and creamy. It's nice. It's easy on the palate. It'll fade after a minute or two. It's just it's very smooth and complex. The cigar, all in all, is just very enjoyable. I'm very impressed with it. It picked up tremendously from when I lit the cigar up until now. The only downside at this point is that it's burning a little hot. You know, that could be a number of things. It could be a little underfilled. It feels a little spongy now, so it could just be the heat loosening up the tobacco a little bit. So now I'm getting a little more air, and ultimately the cigar is getting hotter. It's not too bad. It's bearable. I'm getting a little bit of flaking on the Connecticut shade wrapper. It might be from a little bit of expansion again from the heat, but overall it's doing well. As far as would I recommend the cigar to anyone? Sure, it's definitely a unique cigar. It's not something you see every day. It's got a nice flavor to it. It's definitely catchy. It'll catch your eye very easily sitting in the walk-in humidor, or even in your own humidor, or while you have it in your hand. It's just a beautiful looking cigar. And I did want to mention earlier that I'm drinking this. I did mention that I'm drinking it with a Black and Tan, and it's a Yuengling product. It's beer, and then, as I mentioned earlier, it's a combination of Yuengling's porter and premium beers, which gives it kind of a unique flavor. You can really taste each part of it. You taste a little bit of the stout from the porter. That's kind of stout flavor, and then you can taste the premium. So it goes really well with the cigar. You got this kind of half and half beverage with this half and half cigar, and ultimately it's a really nice combination. I really enjoyed it. So if you're able to pick up a type of beverage like that, maybe not necessarily a beer, but I think the beer went very well. I don't know how many companies make a Black and Tan style beer, but I'm sure it's available if you just look. I'm not aware of any major breweries that put out a beer like that. But Yuengling is like a staple around here, so it's very easy to get, and it's very affordable. I think it was like $19.50 a case. And that about does it for the Arganese Chairman. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to giving the other Arganese cigars a try. And Jerry will be reviewing them as well as soon as I get them out in the mail to him. It should be tomorrow. So Jerry, look for a package in the next couple of days. You might even have it in time for your Friday review. We'll have to see what happens. I did talk to Jerry, and his camcorder is on the way, so he should be set to go on Friday, just like usual. And no, that's about it. Once again, I want to thank Jesse for providing these cigars. It's a cigar that I heard Bob and Dale talk about on Dog West Cigar Radio, and it kind of piqued my interest. I wanted to give it a try, and I checked out the Arganese website, and they don't have anyone in Pennsylvania that carries the brand. So I was kind of out of luck. I haven't ordered cigars online in quite a while, and I wasn't going to order the cigars just because. I want to wait and order a few more things before I got to these, but I really appreciate it, Jesse. I was really looking forward to trying these cigars, and you really came through. So definitely, everyone out there, support those that support us. Check out tophatcigar.com, our newest sponsor, and don't forget to check out cigarjack.net for being kind enough to supply us these cigars. Jesse does a great job over there providing cigar news and reviews, so definitely take a moment to check him out. And until next week, happy smoking. Oh, and as far as next week's cigar, I should probably mention that. I recently got a couple Oliva Serie V Lanceros from Wing Fan from Cigar Life, so I'm going to be smoking one of those next week. I'm really looking forward to trying the smaller ring Serie V. I know I reviewed it in the past, but that was a pre-release. My experience is that the cigars didn't change very much from the pre-release to production, so I'm going to try that in the smaller ring size and see how it stacks up to the Double Robusto, which I've been smoking a lot of as of late. So that about does it for this week's episode of Stogie Review Video Review. So I'll catch you next week, guys. Happy smoking.